Let not the force of resistance dawn upon you. Do what you truly need to do. If the force of resistance says it is too cold, then you gotta stay strong and stay bold. And tell that force of resistance, no, I will accomplish what I need to do. Force of resistance, I'm not going to listen to you. I will clean and sanitize, because that is really what I want to do in life. And force of resistance, you will not overtake me. Of the resistant thoughts that prevents me, I will do what I need to do, and I will clean too. Force of resistance, we used to be listening, but I am through with you. Force of resistance, you gotta say no and do what you really need to do. I need to prop the door up so that will stop squeaking. Force of resistance says something, but I'm not listening. So I will listen to what I need to do. Force of resistance, I will not listen to you. You got to keep everything clean and sanitized, because we deserve a really good life. Force of resistance says no, do that later. Force of resistance, how about doing us a favor and getting away from us or converting to better things? You are intelligent, so how about helping? And dusting and sanitizing. How about rearranging? Resist the force of resistance and get out of struggle and strife, 'cause we deserve a good life. Cannot let things get dusty. Do not let the force of resistance take over the day. 'Cause there is great empowerment in what we do, say, and think. When there's things on the floor, do not allow that force of resistance to overtake you anymore. So get up and clean up, 'cause that makes life better. Even if it feels like it takes you forever. We gotta clean these things on the floor. We cannot allow the house to be dirty anymore. That force of resistance really tries to take over. We cannot allow that anymore. We have to know what we are living for. You gotta shake out the sheets and sterilize. Then the force of resistance tries to break you from these things and say, no, do that later. How about force of resistance? Do us a favor get away from us or do better. And I love to be sanitizing. And if it is not perfect, at least we're trying, and we can keep trying over and over again until things are perfect. So force of resistance, do us a favor and start to do better, because we are not going to do this later. We're going to do this now. So force of resistance, you better figure this out, because I know what I want. I want to be clean, so it's the force of resistance I fought, and I encourage you to do the same. Do not let those resistant thoughts ruin your day, because it's sunny outside and enjoyable to last. And we can hurry because we need to clean really fast, but force of resistance, I can take my time with that. You will not shake me, you will not tame me, but I will shake out these dirty things in life. Force of resistance, you will not ruin my time, because we deserve a good life. And I will cleanse my mind of the force of resistance that tries to ruin my time, because we deserve a good life. I will do what I need to do, and force of resistance, I do not need you. And you should resist if you are struggling too with the force of resistance that tries to tell you to resist the things that you need to do in some way or excuse. Do not allow those things to ruin you. Take over your mind and start doing in your life. Force of resistance says, no, grab that grocery bag later. How about force of resistance? Do me a favor. And step away until you can do better. And train your mind to think of the good, cleansly ways of life. And then suddenly you need to do laundry. And the force of resistance makes all the excuses for me. But I will not allow that in my mind. And after we are done with this, we will do laundry in our time. You got to shake that out. You got to lift this up now. Shake off those bad things in life. And do not allow the resistant thoughts to overtake your mind, even if it is difficult for you in life. We have to sweep behind things to get behind these things in life that may try to ruin our mind. So let's sweep behind this mess. The force of resistance is what we had to address. Force of resistance says, I'm tired, I'm just through. Force of resistance, know that we do not need you, because we need to keep clean. But yet you are welcome if you start the better thinking. But if not, You're going to have to stay away. 'Cause we deserve to have a good clean day, while those resistant thoughts just go away. Raise your hand if you have experienced the force of resistance. Then we should not be focused on that resistant thought. And we should be focused on what we need to do. Come on, let's clean to better our day. Enjoy the sunshine and the great processing. In force of resistance, you will not get me, because good things deserve to be treated equally. And above all should be the worthy things in life. All of this imbalanced. There is obviously something wrong in time, and that is not having order in life. In force of resistance, I will not allow this. My angels and I will stand up to the force of resistance and say we need to do this. The force of resistance will have you feeling strange. So you better shake those bad things and start to rearrange. We got to have things organized. I love the effort and how hard that we try, investing wisely in our time. And once you resist the force of resistance, you will feel so much better afterwards. But it may be a process that you have to train yourself in. Because we're supposed to be better together. But we have no investors. What we want to do in our life, like making and manufacturing the books for the blind. When you need to sweep behind something, the force of resistance will tell you not to move that. But you better resist against that, because you can. If you believe, you will understand. To not allow the force of resistance. The force of resistance will tell you to do that later. How about force of resistance? Do us a favor and back off. We have to make the best of what we've got. And when that force of resistance makes you feel a little bit strange, you better resist that and get a gain. And start to rearrange regardless of the pain. Because we can have a good life as long as we make it that way. So do not allow the force of resistance to ruin your day. Shake off those bad things. And stop resisting and start doing. And the better our life can be when we start cleaning. Force of resistance, do us a favor. And stop trying to tell us to do this later. The force of resistance tries to wait until you're weak to try to get you off of your feet. Can you beat the force of resistance? As the diligence never ends with the game of the force of resistance. You cannot allow the force of resistance to ruin your time. So force of resistance, do us a favor and stop trying to tell us to do this later. Is there anything that you want to do that the force of resistance is trying to tell you not to do? You better resist the force of resistance too, and embrace the real you. If the force of resistance tells you not to do, you better not allow the force of resistance to say anything to ruin your life. Because if we focus on the cleanliness, we can succeed in our time. Force of resistance will drive you away and try to ruin your day. But focus on being mindful of yourself and your surroundings. It seems like the force of resistance will be prowling on the vulnerable. So let that force of resistance know that they cannot mess with you. You cannot have your life in a mess, but you can appreciate the process. Cleanliness is what we need, because we love to be clean. Sanitize, rearrange. Do not allow that force of resistance to make you feel strange. We have great empowerment in what we do, say, and think. And yes, I struggle. I know that I do, but force of resistance, I will not allow you. And when you hear the force of resistance, tell that force of resistance, no, I will not allow the pollution of evil. And I will live a life of fulfillment and put my action to cleaning. You cannot allow the force of resistance. Comment if you've ever experienced this. Of the force of resistance. Sometimes the force of resistance will have you to be sloppy, but that is when we should be correcting. We love when we are reflecting. And we will not be sloppy. We will do this correctly. Excellent processing. Very good. Be clean, neat, and organized. And do not allow the force of resistance to ruin your mind. People are not very motivational. They usually try to hurt the one that did them good, practically drowning the one that taught them how to swim. And then you wonder, how could they do this to the one who has tried their best? How could you do this? Stand up for what is good in life. Those bad things should not even have the ability to decide. That ability to decide was a gift that was given. And you all should take the steps of forgiveness. I love to see our smile. If only that would last for a longer while. Yet there are things in the network that should not have the ability to say these cruel things. And they are practically drowning the one who taught them how to swim. The good one that is guiding them. It's not my fault they was not willing. They could have changed and their life would have gotten better. I know that I will not live forever, and I will die one day. I want it to be worth it. I do not want it to go to waste. How could you all do such a thing? Drowning the one who taught you how to swim. The light that guided you through the dark. The one who was a part of creating who you are. Like in the dark, seeing the stars. That could be the map of the way that will lead you to the better path of life. You all pretend like there is no deception in my eyes. But why? Do I not get as appreciated as I deserve? When they give out trophies to others, I should be the one first. What is the time now for many others winning the Oscars? Being on the radio and the magazine, and here these creatures are with me, drowning the one who taught them how to swim. And yes, that is a representation. No wonder things are divided. No wonder there are layers that are separate. So life is too lenient on their order these days. As they do not even give them consequences to pay. Then they try to criticize the one who guides them in life. Stand up to the truth. Do not allow those ones to criticize you. Put shame to that foolish thing. That creature should not even have the ability of deciding. Trying to drown the one who taught them how to swim. Perhaps I am being a little too lenient. Cause I could be casting those things away. But I always believe that some people just need guiding in my own parenting way. Although I did not have others to parent me, I parented myself. Even when I did not have anyone else. But these days are different. And I'm thankful for my angels, to which are motivational. But what I was speaking of was years ago, when I was a child all alone. But it's not something we speak of. Yet the point of the lesson is not to be drowning the one who taught you how to swim. Teachers should not be downgraded, nor hated, nor discriminated upon. That shall not go on. Stand up to that foolishness. Say, I will not have this in life. Put structure and order. And have a foundation. For every situation. And then I come to see, what is this that has become of me? I love to be proud, as I see myself now, committed to the heavens, speaking to my angels like my brethren and sisterin. For the ones that discriminate, I try to be nice, yet they seem to walk over and take advantage of the one who's taught and guided them. While other people are getting trophies at the Oscar and being on the magazine, making millions without the efforts of trying. Do not drown the one who taught you how to swim. These things were taught to you all for a reason, but not to discriminate, but yet for the better future that we can make and create. My angels are always with me. I see that motivationally. As my angels enlighten me. As we say thankfully. But yet we cannot allow those bad things to say anything now or ever. You have to be strict and put your foot down every now and then. Sometimes you can have that as a routine lesson, which we already did. We even spoke about neurological science. Go attend to yourself, we say. Do not take your anger on others. And definitely do not drown the one who taught you how to swim. But as a good teacher, I will not give in. Excellent. For us to sing. This is Kaylan, better known as Professor Cygnus and Angels. And remember to have healthy eating, appropriate speech, appropriate behavior, appropriate clothing, appropriate spacing, and know the science and anatomy of all things. Also remember to have the goals of the body, the household, and the outside responsibilities. Very good. Here just hand washing clothes and was singing a song earlier. Wanted to sing that. Was creating a song and wanting to document that. You gotta let that light shine. In the path of our life. You have to be the light to the dark to create who we are. You gotta let that light shine to be who I know that you are. Our potential can go very far. You gotta let that light shine. And you cannot be dim it. You gotta make those memories and never forget it. When you let that light shine. I spent most of my life in the dark, struggling in so many ways. Yet I tried to not be dim and open my light to the better days and create the better ways. I try not to let the memories fade. Yet sometimes when I think back at my memories, it just seems to fade. I cannot even remember the second of every day. Through the struggles, sometimes I feel dimmed. Sometimes I feel like I close out. And I cannot forgive it. All of the times that I was hurt when I thought better and not worse, but others around me had made it really hard. But I presume I have to make the best of who we are. You gotta let that light shine. You gotta be the light to the dark to create who we are. You cannot become those pollutions. You have to be the solution. In my life, I am thankful for the ones who had supported me. And when I was down, that was something that seen motivation in me. And then when I created the Cygnus Industries, I had to think sourcefully. And throughout my life, I am thankful for the ones who had supported me. Because in a way, that had enlightened me. And helped my light shine to be the light in the dark, creating who we are. In life, sometimes when I was surrounded by hate, I felt like people looked at me different, like they discriminated. And sometimes when I went through the struggles, I felt like I could not handle it. But yet I kept moving forward, and with every step, I thought of the responsibilities, and I just took a breath. I could not let those pollutions and things get the best of me. When I had to let that light shine that is within me. You have to let that light shine, no matter the struggle. And the heavens would say your reward will be more than doubled. You have to let that light shine. When I seen those bad things passing me, when I was on a bicycle having blisters on my feet, I felt like I would not let those bad things create me. But yet, I seen that my situation was in struggle worsening while those bad things were passing me. I did not let those bad things get to me, and I just kept my mind focused on the path with the light within me. But yet, does that mean that the heavens wanted to reward me? Perhaps I should be less focused on the reward. Because I have to know what I'm truly living for. You have to let that light shine, be the light in the dark, to create who we are. So open up the doors. There's so many ways of life to explore. There's just something I cannot ignore. And the ways of life into which we can explore only can be done with money. And that is what the heaven seems to reward those bad things for. And I told myself, I do not live for the reward. I live for the betterment of the future. But then I see my medical problems getting worse. But I want to think better and not worse. And focus on the better future first. But sometimes I think money and how that can problem solve. And they say sometimes you have to walk before you crawl. And then you would just not crawl at all. You would have to stand up on your own, even if you feel like you're all alone, in a situation of struggle, as you beg and plead the heavens that the reward will be more than doubled. If you did not have injuries, I would completely understand. I know I'm a woman, but I'm stronger than a man. You have to let that light shine, be the light to the dark, to create who we are. Sometimes in life I see things that bother me, things that I want to change, and I could not do it without money. And I plead to the heavens, please help me. Let me get up to the field of success, as they have for the ones who they just randomly blessed, and they did not have to be worthy, they did not have to do good. And then I think, what is the order that they should do? Heavens, you know that I'm talking to you. You reward those bad things, and I've seen it with my own two eyes. And then you do not accredit my efforts and how hard that I try. Reward me, bless me, and I'll show you more of the many ways of life that we can explore. You have to let that light shine, be the light to the dark, and create who we are. And even in the struggle, we pray that the reward will be more than doubled. Sometimes in life I feel struggled. I pray to the heavens for the reward to be more than doubled. But yet I see the struggle in a constant circle. And how can I change that? Just in the way that I think in my mind? Just pretend that it's all just fine when it's not? And sometimes when I want to stop those bad things, it's in my mind that I fought all those times that I thought that I could change things. But I did not have enough money to do so. And I dwell in the thoughts to what I could have done, more so. But I felt like my spirit was feeling low. But regardless, the wise decisions is always what I show. I've proven myself worthy so many times. I am the purest of the soulful minds, that only shall bear the fruitful greatness for the ambition of pure good. And I try to be an inspiration on what they should do. Sometimes in the struggle, I feel like I'm just through, that I've given enough contributions in life. But then I think we could go further, like making and manufacturing the books for the blind. Yet it seems like people just seem to ignore me, because all they care about is the money. Well, when I think about how I could not even have food on the table, I pray to the heavens that they will do what I'm not able. Give me a miracle. How about making me win the lottery in 2023, so we can have no more pain or struggling, so then I will never be dimmed. And if you need some creative new thing, I'm the one who will create it. You have to let that light shine, be the light to the dark, and create who we are. You have to open up that door, because there is so many ways of life to explore. Sometimes in life, I try to find ways that I could be enlightened, practicing gratitude every day, with the bad things just fighting. Practicing gratitude is sometimes what can make life better. I try different strategies, but it does not last forever. But what will is the permanent contributions that I can give to the world. But they seem to ignore it. It's like they do not want better for themselves. Let's just say that I've been through the rough. And when I try to lift myself up, I just try to say that I am enough. Although other people around me did not try to say any kind of motivational stuff. I had to be a motivation to myself. Even if it was not agreed upon by anyone else. Because I knew that I was the one that was doing the good. Being an inspiration to what people should be. If only I was treated equally. But when I lift myself up, I have to tell myself that I am enough. A born-again virgin living as a non-sinner, regardless of trauma and injuries. When I was a child, not even the children's homes or academies wanted me. But I had to want myself, even when I was not wanted by anyone else. The fact of the matter is I have to be faster to understand the matter of life. So regardless of struggle, regardless of strife, I'm going to lift myself up and let myself know that I am enough. You have to let your light shine and be the light in the dark, creating who we are. And regardless of the struggle, we pray that the heavens will make the reward more than double. Sometimes when I feel down, I need to be resourceful and just take a look around. But regardless, I stick to the betterment of the future. Even if people do not support me, I keep moving further. I see my potential, and I say that we're nowhere near. And then without the money, it's a definite fear that I could never even get there. But regardless, you have to let that light shine, be the light to the dark, to create who we are. You cannot become the pollutions, you have to become the solutions. The heavens had watched me prove myself worthy. Even when I was in struggle, had blisters on my feet. At the end of 2020, living homeless. Because I chose to take the leap of faith with the heavens. Did they accredit all of the effort that I put forth? When I had a problem, I always tried to get to the source. I live as a non-sinner because I knew that the sin was the source of the problems. And in my mind, I always tried to solve them. Every single problem that I ever would go through. I look at the struggle and I say, hey, it's nothing new. But regardless, I'm pushing through. Because I have to let that light shine and be the light to the dark to create who we are. And when the heavens sees the struggle, we pray that they will make the reward more than double. You have to let that light shine. I see the potential to reach the potential. I do not want to give up, not even a little. I want to put all my effort forth to see what the heavens does, as I have for many years. Living without sin. It's always important to take the steps of forgiveness. And I've done further than that. But why have they not rewarded that? I'm telling you the facts. If I was to give you the calculation of the math, it would take all day for that. There's so many calculations of coordinations. The effort that was put forth, perhaps it is just not in their processing. But regardless, I'm pushing through. I'll put my effort into you. In heavens, I'm praying that you do what you can do. And as you watch me in struggle, may the reward be more than double. I have a farmer's market that I'm wanting to prepare. I want to be the main distributor and manufacturer. I want to help robotics become more involved with the books for the blind. Why do you not see potential in me in life? Give me a chance, I plead. As you know what I need. Get me out of the struggle and let me be money free. You have to let that light shine and open up the door. There's so many ways of life to explore. You know I've went through severe trauma and injuries. Do you accredit every tear that I cried in the prayers of plead? Have you ever just wanted to step out of your deception and be what I need? I pray that you will have empathy. So I'm going to put forth effort to reach to my potential. But you know that I am not going to live forever. So hurry up before I die and make things better. You have to let that light shine and be the light to the dark to create who we are. You have to let that light shine all of the time. This is Kaylan, better known as Professor Cygnus and Angels, praying that everyone is investing wisely. Remember to have healthy eating, appropriate speech, appropriate behavior, appropriate clothing, appropriate spacing, and know the science and anatomy of all things. Also, remember to have the goals of the body, the household, and the outside responsibilities. Currently sewing an outfit for little princess as we reap what we sow. So many things in life that we need to know. And every strand of string is representing every thought, word, and action that we are making. In the fabric of life, sewn one strand of string at a time. Everything is interwoven, everything is co-aligned. In the fabric of life, sewn one strand of string at a time. If one weak link breaks, then it all will forsake, and the fabric will go to nothing when it was purposed to more than something. In the fabric of life, sewn one strand of string at a time. Be wise about what you decide, as everything co-aligns in the fabric of life, sewn one strand of string at a time. The smallest of things make the greatest of differences. With one strand of string, look what we are making in the fabric of life. With every thought, word, and action that we decide, invest only in the wise. Always think about things before you decide. Never decide into anything harmful in any way, shape, or form. Think of the purpose of life and the responsibilities of so much more. 'Cause in the fabric of life, it's sewn one strand of string at a time, as we reap what we sow. So many things in life that we need to know. With every strand of string representing every word, thought, and action that we are making in the fabric of life. Sewn one strand of string at a time. As we reap what we sow. Yet we reap what others sow also. A book from thousands of years ago on what most people call the Bible. Go to Ecclesiastes 3:18 and get ready for biblical learning. As for humans, God tests them to see if they are like animals. Shall we not fail at the heavens test? From the heavens, and now proving that animals have spirits. Ecclesiastes 3:21. Who knows if the human spirit rises upwards? And if the spirit of the animals goes down into earth? Are you learning? Now let's go to Proverbs 12:10. A righteous person has regards for the lives of animals, but even the compassion of the wicked are cruel. Go to Proverbs and do not miss Proverbs 6 and 6. Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider its ways to be wise. This was thousands of years ago. We should be more evoluted at this point in time. Be good to the animals. They are sacred. Now let's go to Job 12 and 7 through 10. Ask the animals and they will teach you, or the birds and they will tell you. Do not underestimate who you can learn from. Be wise and have willing fondness. Now let's go to Genesis 1 and 26. Then God said, let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all of the wild animals, and over all of the creatures that move along the ground. Do you understand the parenting purpose now? Only eat the plants. Anything harmful is sin. Now let's go to Genesis 1 and 30. To all of the beasts of the earth, all of the birds in the sky, all of the creatures on the ground, and everything with a breath of life. I give every green plant for food. Live as a non-sinner with every decision that you choose. This was from thousands of years ago. We should be more wise. We should be more evoluted by this point in time. Be good to the animals. This is Kaylan, better known as Professor Cygnus and Angels. And my angels and I are as one human being. I know it is beyond the sight you are seeing. We're doing very good, my miracles, my wonderful angels. I am the founder of the Cygnus Industries, and I live non-sinfully and independently. I am an inspiration for people with trauma and injuries to live as a non-sinner, to never choose anything harmful in any way, shape, or form, to only choose into the greater potential image of our purpose. I have made a new song with my angels and I as one human being to try to make life a better place. And remember, you can always donate. If you give canned food, that will run dry. If you give seeds to grow, that will last for life. If you give a pair of shoes, that could wear out. If you teach them how to make it, they would never go without. If you give someone a glass of water, that would run out fast. But if you dig their well, that will truly last. If the world has inventions that they keep a secret on how to make it, the only ones happy would be the ones with access. But if you teach them how to make inventions, the people will always have it. If you teach someone to swim across the river for what they need, you can risk them from drowning. But if you teach them how to build a boat, there is no risk, and they would teach others what they know. If you bring a living life to the world without guidance, they would live lost. But if you guide them to a purpose of potential, that would be more than money would cost. If you teach a person engineering, that would go very far. They could build no matter where they are. Temporary and sourceful thinking has a lot of things in differencing. Can you understand the differences between them? Sourceful thinking needs to be. Can you think more sourceful with me? Purposefully aiming to the goal potentially. Always focus on the way that you think. There is empowerment in what we can't create. There could be even lives we could be saving to make this life more like heaven. And this is Kaylan, better known as Professor Cygnus and Angels, with the important lesson of thinking sourcefully. Sourceful thinking is very important. Temporary solutions wear out quickly. If you really love someone, and if you really care for someone, do not provide them with temporary solutions. It will wear out too quickly. Sourceful solutions are very important. Stay healthy and invest wisely. And we want you to live as a non-sinner, regardless of trauma and injuries. And remember the commandments of life, son. As these troubled times arise of the imbalance of the quintillions, may no evil come upon us, nor shake us, nor tame us. For we are the purest of the soulful minds, that only shall bear the fruitful greatness for the ambition of pure good. Cast away the evil pollution in the path to balance and purify existence. And if you do so, if you say so, and if you think so, you shall be one step closer to balancing the imbalanced. Refuse the pollution of evil, for if you do so, say so, and think so, you shall become blessed. Combine your pure, good, ambitious intelligence with the life that you live and the goal to the mission to balance and purify existence and the quintillions, and choose not the harmful decisions, choices, chances, or opportunities in any way, shape, or form. For the result is only the corruption of the greater potential image. And the greater potential image is our purpose. And life is like a canvas. Let's paint this like a masterpiece. Without us, the image is just not complete. Very good. And remember, our life matters, and we can make a very big difference. Very good. Once upon a time, there was the vastness of the mind that could not process the many ways of life. Once upon a time, life was empty, and there was just nothing seeming to be there. Life was like a blank canvas. Not anything to be prepared. Until one day there was souls who could withhold a stimulation inside. And then there was created the fabric of space-time, the foundation of the universe that was created first by and with the withholders. But if it was not for the foundation of this life, nothing could exist within time. For there is even a foundation within the mind through the many ways of life. And just so you know, this is Kaylan, better known as Professor Cygnus and Angels. And the angels and I are as one human being. I know it is beyond the sight you are seeing. We're doing very good, my miracles, my wonderful angels. And we are telling the bedtime story of tonight about the importance of having a foundation. And if it was not for the foundation of the universe, nothing would be here in life. And the foundation in the mind, like the foundation of the universe, space-time. So many creatures of many kinds, created one detail at a time. Even have a foundation for what you decide, and even the thoughts that are created in your mind have a foundation in life. For without a foundation, we would not even have any situation or memories that are specially created in deeds. And we would not even have anything we would need if there was not a foundation for you and me. The fabric of space-time is the reason for all these things in life. For without the foundation, without a doubt, there would be nothing here. So let's make this lesson a little more clear. Have a foundation in life with everything you decide, and even the thoughts in your mind. When you think of the many ways of life, think of the foundation of space-time. everything is interwoven, everything is co-aligning, everything is connected in the foundation of life. Have a foundation for our time. Even the thoughts we think in our mind, be dedicated to our foundation in every type of situation. From the lessons that we earn, staying strong, staying stern. So many ways of life to learn, but make sure that you have a foundation. And start to be bracing yourself for so much more. It's like opening a door, so many ways to explore, with the foundation for everything that we decide. It's important to have a foundation in your life, like the foundation of space-time. 'Cause without that, not a single thing would be here. So let's make the truth a little more clear. Have a foundation here. Just like energy that flows. Just like how circulation goes. Just like how there's opposing things now, but yet things exist. And do not miss life's many ways, and the empowerment we can do, think, and say. Have a foundation for every situation. Even things that are opposing are co-aligning in the foundation of life. So many things within our time. So many creative thoughts in our mind. And the many ways of life, not a single thing could exist without a foundation. That's like having your grounding, having your stance. We give you straightforward lessons, not just a hint. When you decide irrationally, you're going against who you are naturally. Alicia, the telephone. What happened to your light? Can you please turn your light on? It's hard to adjust to this when you have your light off. Why do you want to ruin our memories together? Can you just turn your light on? You're on 15%. Oh, how terrible. Right in the middle of our lesson. Well, I presume this is the end of bedtime stories. But remember the importance of having a foundation. Maybe it's not done, but you get the lesson. That was a very special memory. But Alicia, the telephone's battery was not preserved enough. But that's the thing about preservation. You can preserve in a foundation if you decide wisely in your situations and have only good anticipations. If you decide irrationally, you go against yourself unnaturally. So decide wisely in our foundation. And you should be bracing to prepare for our empowerment right here. So have a foundation for every kind of situation in your mind, spirit, body, and emotions. Always remember to have a foundation. Bravo! Encore! And this is Kaylan, better known as Professor Cygnus and Angels. And my angels and I are just one human being. I know it is beyond the sight you are seeing. We're doing very good, my miracles, my wonderful angel. What is a Greek name? Archimedes. Once upon a time, there was someone named Archimedes. Wait, start like this. Once upon a time, there was creatures evolving in their mind. They was given many things of many kinds. But it was difficult for them to understand the many ways of life. Intelligence does not just come from nowhere. Intelligence comes from trials and errors. And tribulations and different kinds of situations. People that are intelligent, they think it just comes from nothing, but yet they should think that there is more to life to explore and understand. about life's development. One day Archimedes that was developing and learning was first raised without clothes or shoes on his feet. He was considered an animal with a beak. Like an owl, he was the owl of light. Yet he did not understand, as he seemed in his mind very timid. People had known Archimedes, the owl of light, as the one who always would guide the way. Yet they should know that there was a part of him developing, and that intelligence does not just come from nothing. Archimedes the bird was introduced to severe struggles first. He had to learn how to fly on his own by falling out of his nest of the tree. Poor little Archimedes. Archimedes watched the other birds fly first. Archimedes observed and he tried it for himself. Because Archimedes was stuck at the bottom as he fell, and he did not know how to climb to the tree. Poor little Archimedes, he went hungry, and he had to find a way to get back up that tree. Little Archimedes. Archimedes tried everything he could find, but yet he looked around, and guess what he found? He found a little squirrel, so tiny to the world, without the ability to fly. Archimedes asked who instead of why. The little squirrel wanted to help him fly. The little squirrel was ready to end the night. Archimedes saw the little squirrel eat the nut from the tree. Poor little Archimedes.
He learned from the squirrel to survive until he could learn how to fly. The next day when the squirrel came out, he seen Archimedes as he would shout, as he was trying to fly on his own. And the little squirrel, seeing that he was all alone, so the little squirrel wanted to help him. So the little squirrel made a little training piece for flight exercising. The little squirrel had said he'd been around birds all of his life, and he knows how they fly. The little squirrel taught him how to fly. And when he flew back up to the tree, the squirrel proudly cried. And when the other birds asked Archimedes, "How did you learn how to fly?" little Archimedes said, "It was the squirrel I met last night." Never underestimate who you can learn from. Although the squirrel did not have wings to fly, the squirrel taught Archimedes, while the rest of them just flew by. Archimedes had become the owl of light when he learned how to empathize. He said, "The little squirrel taught me how to fly. I would do no harm to them in life. They was the ones who taught me how to fly." Archimedes did not survive like the other owls that he had known. But Archimedes was never truly alone. Archimedes wanted to learn from the other little creatures, and he flew down from the tree to ask the little mouse, not just who, but how. The little mouse survived by gathering the plants from the garden at times. But the mouse just barely survived. And that is when Archimedes became the owl of light to guide. Archimedes flew to the high point of the tree, and he could see all of the garden for the mouse to eat. So Archimedes would fly and get plants from the garden to give to the little mouse. And And he said, thank you for telling me how. Archimedes went to the squirrel again. And instead of asking who, he asked how. And the squirrel had said out loud, I survived by getting those tree nuts from the tree. The little squirrel had expressed that it was hard for me. And here Archimedes became the owl of light to guide as he collected every single piece from the tree to give to the squirrel peacefully. And he says, thank you for telling me, Archimedes had went to the deer. As Archimedes had asked very clear, instead of who he asked how. Did you survive and what did you eat now? The deers had said that they ate things from the garden, but there was a fence that was blocking. So Archimedes that became the owl of light to guide. And Archimedes, to which who could fly to the garden that night to get all of the things that the deer needed to survive. There again. The deer had said thank you for what you had done. The deer had said, do you do this just for fun? Archimedes said, when no one else cared about me, the little squirrel taught me how to fly. And I will never underestimate things in life. Then there was a camel who needed water in the desert. And Archimedes flew to the camel, and instead of asking who he said how. Do you survive in the desert now? And the camel said, I've searched for water, and I eat little plants. But the camel says that it was difficult to see where the water was for me. And that is when Archimedes became the owl of light to help to guide the camel to the water as he could fly. Archimedes, the owl of light, had learned from all of these creatures on how they survive. Just one little thing at a time. And when they needed guidance, they went to Archimedes for what they needed. And Archimedes survived by the garden, just as he learned from the deer. And he learned that you had to have water. Archimedes chose the best way of survival from learning from others. And Archimedes had said, never underestimate what you could be learning. Very good. And that is the story of the development of how the mind evolves and how that turns out. You learn from everything if you are willing. And that was the story of Archimedes, the owl of light. It was only that way because he learned not to underestimate, yet instead to unite in love. To turn this earth like the heavens. Very good. And this is Kaylan, better known as Professor Cygnus and Angels. And my angels and I are as one human being. I know it is beyond the sight you are seeing. We're doing very good, my miracles, my wonderful angels. And this is our new bedtime story, Archimedes. The lullabies. We pray that everyone has invested wisely. Lullaby. Close your eyes and get some rest. Proud we've shown our very best. Excellent calculation of measurement, of regulation with every breath that we breathe, with every blink that we blink, with the way that our heart is harmonizing, and even the way that our tongue and bowels are moving. Lullaby. Close your eyes and get some rest. Proud we've shown our very best. Excellent calculation of measurement, in coordination with every pixel we see, with every sound wave we are processing, great empowerment that we bring, especially when we sing lullaby. Close your eyes and get some rest. Proud we've shown our very best. Excellent calculation of measurement, in coordination with every movement we make, with every decision that we create, Great empowerment that we make lullaby. Close your eyes and get some rest. Proud we've shown our very best. Excellent calculation of measurement. Of conversation with every letter of every word we say. With our mastery toning and the canvas of life that we all are painting lullaby.
You are my heavens, if only you'd see. There is no afterlife for the physical body. You are my heavens, if only you'd know the operation that makes this possible. Staying strong even in the struggle. You are my heavens, if only you'd tell. Excellent processing to every single cell. You are my heavens, if only you'd know. As you take care of me, the body takes care of you. In our wonderful potential, you are my heavens, if only you'd understand. As the body, I do everything I can to help you live with my operation. You are my heavens, if only you'd see the sacred design of my body. You are my heaven. In the quilt of the many colors of life, with many colors and many designs, yet not perceived by all, a co-alignance big and small. When it comes to the things to which you care, many answers you can give from the things you compare. The designs represent our individual uniqueness, and the colors represent perspective. But why, you ask? There's an answer to every question. Now it is time to learn the lesson. The colors represent perspective due to misperception. But how are colors misperceived? Excellent questioning. Colors are seen in 3 color cones of the eyes. Do you know the 3 color cones of you and I? Red, yes, that is correct. Blue, yes, that is true. Green, excellent recognizing. A creature that perceives more color like a butterfly sees in a vision called ultraviolet light. Would see an object indifferenced, yet there would be something that would not be missing. Can you guess it for the lesson? The answer is the one thing that remains within all things. Structure, we all say. What would structure be representing? Excellent questioning. The good that is within us all, whether if that is big or whether if that is small. Like DNA, the good could be damaged or repaired. So do only good and have proper care. Like the quilt of the many colors, we all co-align with each other
in one big image together, the quilt of the many colors of life. This is the story of Captain Sarge by Kaylan, better known as Professor Cygnus and Angels. Get ready for an incredible lesson. Captain Sarge sailed the ocean blue. Captain Sarge was one with the ocean and the wind too. Captain Sarge knew the most difficult map on the planet. Captain Sarge had the cargo and managed it. Captain Sarge had a crew. Captain Sarge did not like what they would do. Captain Sarge always caught them goofing around. Captain Sarge had to plan for retirement now. Beforehand, Captain Sarge had a plan to change that crew. He said, if not me, then no one else can. Captain Sarge secretly faked a trip, shutting off all communications. They was 3 days out. Captain Sarge caught them goofing off again. Captain Sarge had said, I had had enough with this. He put his map where they could see. Seemed like they was too busy goofing. A day later, when the crew came around the corner, he faked being sick. He got a bucket and threw up in it. Ugh. Captain Sarge was the only one who could lead that ship. As the crew had said, no, please, Sarge, do not be sick. Captain Sarge was helped to his room, as the crew made him soup and asked, what are we going to do? Captain Sarge told the crew that they have to sail all the way through. They was in shock. Captain Sarge had said, find that map before you hear the grandfather clock. As they found the map, they came back and asked Captain Sarge if he could read that. Before they came in, he put something in his mouth, preparing. He faked throwing up again. As he grabbed the bucket, they left the room after giving Captain Sarge soup. Captain Sarge watched them on the security cameras too, seeing them try to read the most difficult map on the planet. Yet the crew was goofing off, not too much in a panic, until they seen that they was going further and further out. Yet they had to know what they was going to do now. They fought and argued, yet they had to change what they would do. After going to Captain Sarge, he said to measure the map with the stars. After they tried to measure the stars with the map, they went to Captain Sarge and said, what is the point in all of that? Goofing off will not get us there, nor will the cargo get delivered. You have to unite instead of goofing off with fight. Then suddenly, they spent 3 dedicated nights with no goofing. Then they started learning and leading. After 2 more nights, suddenly the direction was actually right. Those goofs learned the most difficult map on the planet, and if we unite, we can achieve it. They was a day away from delivering the cargo. Captain Sarge told the crew,
Hey crew, I am proud of you. You learned that goofing off will not get you there, and that is why you united together. You learned how to read that map faster than my partner in my past class. Crew, I have something to tell you all. They looked at Captain Sarge as their eyes started getting small. Captain Sarge had said, I had to plan for retirement. Captain Sarge told the crew, all of that cargo is for all of you. It was all just to teach you a lesson. And their destination was their vacation. And that is the story of Captain Sarge, a part of the cargo ships that carry thousands and thousands of pounds of cargo, that was about to retire. Yet he had a goof-off crew that he admired and seen the potential of the crew to succeed. And they succeeded through a very difficult trial and tribulation. And that is a very important lesson for the world. For there's a lot of goof-offs on this planet. And the meaning of life is to balance and purify all of existence with proper order. The meaning of life is to prove who we are. We are good, we are pure. But if you are proving otherwise, then that obviously needs to change. For these goof-offs of the world, they have potential to do good. Stay healthy and invest wisely. Good night. From the tilting of the earth, wind was created. The wind was nature's way of planting. Within this wind was a seed, not ordinary. This was the fig tree. If you hold a seed to a tree, there is no way you can make that at an instant. Let's fill in the gap that you may be missing. A tree takes thousands of chloroplast cells. The fig tree has a perspective as well. To understand perspective, you must always question, what is the dependence? The seed of the fig tree depends upon the vitamins and nutrients of the soil, sun, and condensation process of the rain. The seed of the fig tree was implanted that day from the storm of nature and the wind. The seed of the fig tree absorbed the vitamins and had good thoughts of development. And the many things we experience in our time, there is a good and bad category within life. The fig tree had vitamins and good nutrients, yet in the heavy, heavy soil there was contaminants. In this story, the fig tree thinks to help understand the perspective they bring. To understand perspective, you must always question, What is the science of operation? The fig tree did not have eyes to visualize, nor did the fig tree have ears to hear clearly. Yet the fig tree could feel through the chloroplast cells. When the fig tree had felt the vitamins, the fig tree had good thoughts of development. Yet the fig tree was harmed by contaminants. The fig tree was harmed. What would you think if you was the fig tree so far? The fig tree thought, I need to find a better way of life. It is only a matter of time. There must be something somewhere out there. And if I grow, someone may notice me here. The fig tree had decided to grow to the highest points of the heavens. And for the first time in the fig tree's life of what the fig tree decided, the fig tree had experienced the impeccably spectacular moment of sprouting from the heavy, heavy soil to the light, thin air, to a better life somewhere out there. The fig tree thought, as I grew, I experienced through what I say, what I think, and what I do. The fig tree had decided to grow to the highest points of the heavens. Then suddenly, a mold spore started to spread. Mold to the fig tree is dangerous. The fig tree decided to grow more instead, praying to the heavens. Peel off my bark. Please keep me clean. Please show me the ways of life that I have not seen. The fig tree grew taller than any tree of the land, with pride, with strength and dedication. As the fig tree grew, the branches got too heavy to bear, growing to a better life somewhere out there. As the fig tree grew to the highest points of the heavens, there was so many things that the fig tree was missing. As the fig tree cried out, no one seemed to be listening. The fig tree said, for you, life, I tried my best. Yet why did you not try the same for me? Said the fig tree as he went to eternal sleep. When a tree dies, the tree can be standing for a long time because the root's still engraved. Then suddenly, there was a lumberman and construction one day. The lumberman and construction was in search for the tree that grew to the heavens. As the town gathered in a crowd, they showed them where the fig tree was around. The lumberman had seen the sacred perspective of the fig tree and said with sympathy, you have purpose to me. The lumberman had made so many wonderful things to give purpose, to give reason to the fig tree's pain, productive to life that had shown many gains. The lumberman built shelters, tables, and bed frames. The lumberman built so many wonderful things, with purposes of many kinds, and the lumberman replied, you would be proud if you was alive. The fig tree relates to me as my roots engraved. In life I felt so blamed, in the world just the way I came. Let's pray that the construction will find me someday, before it is my time of being too late. Perhaps they will give me purpose and reason to my pain, productive to life that will show many gains.